to all the troublemakers in the back of the class. Is it on?
Oh no, the
It could?
sure the front directional.
Okay. Is that good for you? Okay. Okay, it's 10:30, so we're going to begin. Bonjour tout le monde. Je m'appelle Jamie West. Je suis le député provincial de Sudbury. Good morning, everybody. My name is Jamie West. I'm the MPP for Sudbury.
Good morning, everyone. Bonjour tout le monde. Ani. My name is France Gélinas, and I'm the MPP for Nickel-Belt. Je m'appelle France Gélinas. Je suis la députée de Nickel-Belt.
I'd like to thank everybody for joining us this morning for our press conference. I want to, before I forget, I want to thank Eric, Jason, and the entire team at Mine Mill Unifor Local 598 for the use of facilities and for helping us organize this morning. It's very important. I want to start with a land recognition. Our riding, Sudbury and Nickel-Belt riding, and I want to also acknowledge the communities along Highway 69, the 68-kilometer portion. So that would include Wanapitei First Nation, Atikmashing, and Anishinaabe, Henvey Inlet, Dokis, Magnetawan, and Shawanaga First Nation. There's a section here, actually, Franz and I were talking about it, where we've written down the importance of First Nations, but I said that as politicians, I think we can do better. And just talk about the importance and to recognize the importance of the treaties as something that we both share. A lot of people will talk about treaties as if it's their treaty, but we both have responsibilities, and I think that as elected officials, it's important that we amplify our duties to ensure the treaties are followed and that treaty people are, all of us as treaty people are treated fairly.
Aujourd'hui, on reconnaît qu'on est sur le territoire de Atikmashing Anishinaabe ainsi que Wanapitei First Nation, Première Nation. Mais l'autoroute 69 elle-même, c'est Shawanaga, c'est Magnetawan, c'est Henvey Inlet, c'est Dokis, c'est tout leur territoire. On est ici pour se rappeler qu'on doit les respecter et qu'on doit leur faire honneur. Ils ont protégé nos territoires pendant longtemps. On doit faire de même.
Merci, France. So the current situation right now, and we're just going to talk at a high level. We had the town hall in the spring. Since the town hall on April 29th, here's what's happened. On May 21st, in the French River area, there's a transport truck collision. The highway was closed for approximately 5 hours. While the truck was removed from the ditch, fortunately, there were no fatalities that reported. On June 5th, near Highway 522 in Henvey Inlet First Nation, there was a two-vehicle collision with one fatality, and the highway was also closed for several hours. June 9th, 2026, French River near Highway 64, there's a single vehicle collision, one fatality, two people seriously injured. The highway was closed for nearly 9 hours. On June 27th, Point of Barrel near Noble, single vehicle collision, two fatalities, and the highway was closed most of the day. We lost 4 people in just 3.5 weeks. This is an issue that comes up on a regular basis for both France and I. And when we talk today, we'll talk about the importance of commerce. How four-laning will improve the business communities, but I think the primary reason that most people think about four-laning on the highway is for safety. The number of conversations that we've had with people contacting our offices, talking about a trip that they're going on or that their kids are going on and how worried they are, I think is countless.
The number that MPP West just shared are not statistic. They are people. They are part of our families. They are our neighbors. They are our co-workers. They are part of our communities. And this happens way too often. We know that on a 2-lane highway, the risk of front-end collision are sky high. Once you have 4-lane, the risk of front-end collision go way, way down. Once you have large animal crossing, the risk of collision with an animal goes way, way down. The proof are there. This is why we need to keep pushing. Les statistiques que M. West vient de partager, c'est pas des nombres, c'est pas des statistiques, c'est des gens, c'est nos amis, c'est nos voisins, c'est nos partenaires. Ça doit changer. Une autoroute à 2 voies, il y a beaucoup trop de collisions frontales et les collisions frontales sont celles qui sont les plus dangereuses. Lorsque l'autoroute devient à 4 voies, tout ça change, tout ça devient beaucoup plus sécuritaire. C'est pour ça qu'on est ici ce matin.
So during the town hall, people asked us to do more, and France and I have been working on this. Without going on the details of the conversations we had some positive conversations with MPP Graydon Smith, who the majority of that 68 two-lane portion is in his riding. We've had good conversations with Minister Rickford, Minister for Indigenous Affairs, and good conversations as well with the Minister of Transportation. The problem, though, is that the conversations aren't leading to anything. They're positive and they make me feel good, but they don't make people less worried about traveling on that route. They do not bring back these lives that we talked about. And so today we are launching our campaign. Those of you online may not be able to see it, but there are buttons and banners all around of us. But we are launching our campaign to 4-lane Highway 69. We're going to be launching a website. It's already live. The campaign is called 4 Lanes, Zero Excuses. And the point of this really is that people are tired. After 8 years of being promised that 4-laning would happen, and 8 years of $0 in the budget, and 8 lanes of no contracts being negotiated, people are fed up. And they don't want to hear the excuses. They want to hear the plan, and they want 4 lanes. And so to that end, we've launched a campaign and a website. The website is nonpartisan. We are here as MPPs. We want to work with the government, all parties, and in the website we'll be sharing details about what's going on with Highway 69.
On est ici aujourd'hui pour lancer la campagne 4 voies, 0 excuse. On veut que le gouvernement passe de la parole aux actes. On a des conversations positives qui se passent avec le premier ministre, avec le ministre des Transports, avec le ministre délégué pour les Autochtones, mais c'est ça, c'est des paroles, on veut des actes. Donc, aujourd'hui, vous pouvez voir le nouveau logo qui s'appelle 4 voies, 0 excuses, et on va passer au travers du site web. The logo is simple, 4-lane, 0 excuse. We want actions now. And we'll go through the website to show people how they can get involved. A lot of people have been touched by accident on Highway 69. A lot of people depend on Highway 69 for work, for school, for medical appointment, for many reasons. We want to give them a chance to be heard. We want to give them a chance to pull our voices together so that the government goes from talking to acting.
So we're gonna go through the website briefly. I mean, it's coordination from Jenny, and then I think that Christy online is organizing as well. So just give me a signal if I'm going to the wrong place. So just to start off with, the website is www.jamiewestmpp.ca/4lane69. We'll have a QR code to make it easier. We just had to branch it off of a nonpartisan website, and so we just flipped a coin, and I guess I won. There's a couple different sections, so if you scroll down on the page, it'll talk about our work, the facts, news and events, how you can get involved, how to share your story, and the petition.
Donc, le site web, c'est un nouvel outil pour que les gens puissent partager leur voix. On a vu, on va partager le travail qui a été fait, les faits, parce qu'il y a encore beaucoup de mythes et on fait beaucoup de démystification parce que entre les mythes et la réalité, des fois, il y a beaucoup d'espace. Après ça, les nouvelles et les événements, lorsque si le ministre fait une annonce, s'il y a de l'argent qui devient disponible, etc., vous allez savoir sur le site web tout de suite comment participer et bien entendu une pétition pour le plus de gens qui demandent quelque chose, le plus de chances d'être entendus.
So let's start with our work, and we'll go briefly through this because I know that everyone has a web browser in their pocket on their phone. But if you look at our work, it'll talk about letters that we've sent, letters that we've sent asking for information, support letters from people, City of Greater Sudbury, Magneto First Nation, and the list goes on from there. A way to send support, and then order paper. The reason is order paper questions, so it's a tool that we have as MPPs where we can ask questions to the minister and he has to reply in writing, I forget, in 25 or 30 sitting days, 24 sitting days. Unfortunately, I mean, these questions we took directly from journalists who had asked them, they weren't answered. The responses were pretty underwhelming, to be honest, but it is a way for us to try to push for better responses. Let's go to the facts. So, like Francis said, people sometimes get confused and they're frustrated. The roadmap is I think, really helpful. It gives a history. It'll take a minute to load just because our connection is a little bit slow here. But it provides a history of what's gone on with Highway 69 so people can see the whole picture. I mean, this has been going on for a long time through multiple governments. Right now, the Conservative government is in power. There's been many governments that have made some progress or little progress. And the reality really is that I don't think people care about the history. It's interesting to know, but they just want the 4 lanes to be done. Well, that's loading. Can you just scroll up, Jenny? Or to solutions, maybe? Yeah, okay.
So, want me to go back to there?
Yeah. So the roadmap, like I said, it just talks about, you know, the commitment to 4 lane was made in 1991. It's still ongoing. This campaign really is to breathe new life into it, to make sure that the government understands with everything going on, like there's multiple forest fires going on, that this is still really important to the people of Northern Ontario. And then down in the solutions, we get a lot of times people responding to us and saying there's more to this. There's driver training. There's multiple drivers out there on transports who are getting a license through private agencies that represent the MTO who don't have decent driving quality. And so we recognize that, and there's more to be done. But part of that really is ensuring the government is enforcing those private training agencies are training drivers to the standards that we'd expect for any of us who, you know, have our G licenses. We know as well we need better winter road maintenance. There was the accident that Patel's had. It was glare ice on the road there. Enforcing the road safety rules is important. But primarily, we know that if we can 4-lane the highway, that is going to take the biggest risk from driving on that road. Like the Premier said, if you're off by 2 inches, you're gone, right? And so I'm repeating that as often as possible because it is not like the Premier does not know the hazards and dangers of this road. He talked about them. He used it as a way to get elected. I want him to fulfill that election promise. Do you want to do the next part? Oh, sorry, the myth blasting. Do you want to do this part?
So I've already mentioned that there's a lot of myth out there as to why the last 68 kilometers of Highway 69 has not been done. So we've kind of put those to bed with the facts. The first myth is that First Nations are holding up the 4-laning. This is absolutely not true. It is all 3 chiefs of all 3, Shawiniga, Magnetawan, in the inlet, want this project to go through. They've all agreed to the route. They've all agreed to where the large animal crossing needs to be. They've all agreed. It's not the First Nations that's holding this back. The other one is that the government of Ontario is working as fast as they can. No, sorry, there hasn't been 1 penny allocated to this project since the Ford government has been elected. The highway is safe. There's nothing to worry about. We all know that a 4-lane highway are way safer than a 2-lane highway. These things take time. The highway's almost done. There's 68 kilometers that remains, and the promise was made 35 years ago. Do you really think that it takes Ontario 35 years to build 68 kilometers of 4-lane highway? No. Then the highway won't get done because it falls in opposition members' riding. Actually, of the 68 kilometers, about 8 kilometers is in my riding of Nickel Belt. The other 60 kilometers is not in my riding. It's in the riding of Parry Sound, which is represented by a member of the Conservative Party, the Ford government. And the reason there are so many accidents is because of the truck drivers on the road. The divided highway makes everybody safer.
Let's get Jenny to move on to the news and events. We won't read every news article, but for the journalists in the room, those joining online, we're doing our best to ensure that all of the articles are listed here, so that people can look back. They don't have to do a Google search or try to find them individually. We want to have a one-stop shopping to find information about Highway 69 and to share everything in here. Most of the news, unfortunately, has been bad news. Our goal out of this campaign is to ensure that the news on here is going to be good news going forward. And then get involved. So France and I, as MPPs, we're fortunate that people share their stories with us, but we want the stories to be shared more broadly with people. Jenny's just opening the form for sharing the story. And so basically there is a way for you to, it's going to default on this one because it's our webpage, so it comes to our Gmail account. But enter your email. You could share your story. That little, I know it shows up on the screen as a line, but that will expand as you're typing more. Then details, are we allowed to share your story? Sometimes people just want us to know as MPP so we can advocate for them. We want to be careful and cautious with your information. So it's helpful if we can share your story, but we also appreciate knowing the story and then just sort of details at the bottom for us to contact information, basically. Do you want to do the next?
I cannot tell you how important it is for people to add their voices and share their stories. If you're not comfortable sharing your name, we're all good with this. You don't need to. But to be able to say, this is the truth. This is what happened to my family. We had a close call. We had one of our loved one was hurt. Whatever the story is, it has a lot of power. We bring those stories to Queen's Park. The people who sits there, no matter which party you belong to, we are all human beings. When you hear a story from a real person who share what has happened, it has a lot of power to move politicians to do things. And this is what we're trying to do. If you don't feel comfortable sharing your name, you don't have to. If you don't want us to share your story publicly, you don't have to either. We will be very respectful. We fully understand for a lot of people, what they're sharing with us is very traumatic. What they're sharing with us give them PTSD and nightmares, and we're fully want to be respectful of all that. But people speak from a place of power. Use your power together to move this 68 kilometers of the Highway 69.
And that ties in nicely with the petition. So we have a petition that is online. You can sign online. I won't read it all out because it takes a little bit of time. But basically talks about the importance of the petition in French and English, like the entire website. However, last year, maybe the beginning of the year before, the Conservative government changed the standing orders, the rules we have to follow in the House. So we can't read the petition word from word. We have to talk about what the petition describes, and that's a good opportunity for us to share your story and why it's important. It actually makes it more meaningful to say, this is an incident that happened and why it's important to people in my riding, people I represent, or people from anywhere across Ontario to talk about why it's important. And so I think the two are tied together. I know not everyone is web savvy. Some people prefer a paper copy. We can provide them from our offices, or you can download it online here to print your own version. And of course, those in the room, we have some just on the side here with the rest of the materials. And then just gonna go back one. A way to stay updated, so you could sign up so you get automatic updates about what's happening with the webpage. Like I said, we'll continue to provide more information. And as well, we have lawn signs that are available, similar to what's in front of the podium here, to show your support, and have them in your yard. We ideally would like to have these closer to Highway 69, but I think that having them anywhere is a good reminder that, the government comes often to Sabre-Nicobel to make announcements for funding. And if they see these signs while they're driving through town, I think it emphasizes the importance. It also reminds their neighbors and each other how important it is and how we care about each other. There's a big note that says Jamie. The next part, and I hand it off to Chris. So, in the call to action, we want you to get involved with this. We want you to amplify it. And so the easiest thing you do is share the website with friends and family. Let them know that it exists so they can find the facts. It helps as well. We see in social media, there's just people don't know. I don't think people are deliberately spreading this information, but they hear something. Like every press conference we have, every time we do an interview with this, France and I talk about how the 3 First Nations want this project to move forward. And we still hear people saying it's the First Nations who are delaying this. So, having a place you can direct people to say, that's not true, there's some facts here, having a place to collect news articles. We also have different, France can demonstrate some of the stuff that we have to sort of promote it. So we got some window clings for your car so that people can see it in the back of your car. We have the lawn signs can be ordered, like I said. We have the buttons that we're all wearing that can be here. We're going to be ordering more materials. If people send us information about things they think are good ideas, we'll be assessing that as well. And then there are stickers as well that we have. And so it's just to keep the pressure on it.
Juste pour vous laisser savoir, ça se colle puis ça se décolle. Si vous le mettez dans votre auto, vous allez être capable de le décoller dedans la vitre. I just wanted people to know that if you put that in your car window, you're able to take it off of your car window. It's not a sticker that stays there. It's a magnetic sticker. But everybody should get one. Just saying. There's a tragedy that happened on Highway 69 quite recently. And we have very strong family members who are here today, who are able to share that story with us. I would invite Erin Lafont to come up, but any other family member who wants to come up and give her support, please do come up. And you will hear one story as to why we need to 4-lane Highway 69.
Good morning. My name is Erin LaPont, and I'm the aunt of Cody Banyan-Bosch. Cody was an incredible young man who tragically lost his life in an accident on Highway 69 on June 5th of this year. He was only 28 years old. Our lives came to a screeching halt that day and have never been the same. While I could spend countless hours discussing statistics, politics, and pointing fingers, and reviewing the empty promises surrounding this treacherous stretch of highway that needlessly took Cody's life, instead I'm here today to tell you about Cody, who he was, how deeply he loved, and why we will ensure his memory lives on. Cody was an adoring big brother and original best friend to his younger sister Rayana, and a devoted son to Melissa and Adrian. He was a nephew, a cousin, and Uncle Cody to many of his friends' children. If there were pets around, you could almost always find Cody laying on the floor soaking up as many cuddles as he could. To say Cody was a character is a huge understatement. His personality was larger than life, just like his heart. He had the biggest smile, the most contagious laugh, and for anyone lucky enough to experience one, he gave the absolute best hugs. Cody loved fishing, dirt biking, and attending concerts. He had a large circle of friends who meant the world to him, and he loved spending time with them. When he wasn't out riding his dirt bike, you could often find him in the garage, working on something, listening to music, and stoking the wood stove. Many of our favorite memories are Cody gathered around the bonfire with family and friends, sharing drinks, laughter, and good music. The loss of Cody has left an immeasurable void in the lives of everyone who knew and loved him. I was incredibly fortunate to have a very close relationship with him. Watching him grow up was a privilege. We spoke several times a day, and I cherish every one of those conversations and memories. Although I will never have the opportunity to make new memories with Cody, I will continue to honor him by advocating for awareness, accountability, and action. His life mattered, and his story deserves to be heard. No family should ever have to endure the unimaginable grief and heartbreak that my family has had to live with every day since June 5th. Thank you.
Thank you for your strength to share this story with us. I wish I could told you that this is the last one that will happen. I wish I could told you that that was the only accident that has happened, but we all know that this is not true. The hard time that this family is going through, hundreds of other families have had the same experience. I also want to share the experience of Jenny Morton. Jenny is a firefighter that was there when Highway 69 was 2-lane in front of Esther and Wanup, and that is still there now that there's 4-lane. Jenny wanted to be there with us this morning, but she has some granddaughters babysitting duties to do, so I will read her story. She starts with, I want to thank France and Jamie for advocating for 4-laning of Highway 69. Thank you also for letting me have a voice in this venture. This is a project that must be completed soon because that stretch of highway has taken many lives and is taken even more now with the increase in traffic. Her name is Jenny Burton, and she is the board chair of the Esther Volunteer Fire Department. I joined the fire department in 1996. Most of our vehicle accident calls were fatality because having just 2-lane highway, there would most likely be a head-on collision because a vehicle would not have a lot of space to go when things went wrong, not a lot of choices to correct. Even the wild animal hits would have been avoided if there was a 4-lane highway because of the poor visibility from the bush to the road. There are also many more travelers on the highway nowadays, more transport, more everything. I know that the fatality rate would go down immensely if they finished the last 68 kilometers because it did when we got our 4-lane back in 2009, 2010 in front of Esther and Wanup. I am so very sorry for the family that have lost their loved ones recently. It could have been avoided had the government carried on with the 4-laning of this highway. Thank you again, France and Jamie, for taking this on, and I hope our voices get heard this time. Signed by Jenny Borton, who is the board chair of the Esther Volunteer Fire Department. We've had many first responders, whether being police officer, firefighters, or EMS, who have reached out to us that have seen the difference it has made once the 4-lane was completed. First, this side of Esther to Sudbury, and then in 2019 from the French River to Esther Wanup. We know it's real, it works, it needs to be done. Again, thank you for the family for sharing their story. I know it was not easy, A lot of the first responders that reach out, same thing, are under a lot of stress, reliving those memories, but they all support four-laning Highway 69.
Thank you. Thank you, France. I also want to thank Erin for coming up and for her family, for supporting her. It's a very difficult thing to talk to in public. And so I just want to thank you as well for having that kind of strength and coming together as a family. Just honored to see it. Thank you so much. And like France said, we've had conversations with EMS. France and I went to the town hall, for example, that was in Britt. It was kind of disappointing because they had a whole bunch of billboards and stuff, but it was a environmental study that they'd already done, just sort of trotting it out. But while we were there, we got to talk to some people for EMS, and we talked to a firefighter who told us that rarely goes to respond to fires. Most of their calls are accidents on the highway. This is a major incident and accidents that we can be reducing if we invest properly. These conversations, these stories, are why the campaign is important. 2 people contacted me where they were behind accidents that happened, fatal accidents that happened. It isn't just the family and the impact, although that's the hardest. Everyone is affected by this. When we hear the highways closed, every one of us thinks about our friends and family and where they are and if they're traveling on that road. We can do better as government. France and I, and I'm sure all MPPs, are willing to join together so we can get this right. And so we're emphasizing the importance of this campaign. So our next steps, we have billboards coming up. We have one that will be in the next 2 days, just near the turnoff to Mine Mill. We were hoping it would be up already, but it'll be up there. Oh, it's going up today. I'm getting the signal it's going up today. Okay, so it may be there as we're driving by, or you may see the workers as you're exiting. We currently have a billboard already on 66 Brady Street by the Steelworkers Hall. That's up already. We have a third billboard that's be going up at Regent Street and Algonquin Road. Our website will continue to be updated. We'll continue to add information to the website. We'll probably post on social media when there's updates, or if you join sort of the mailing groups, we'll send updates about what's going on and any information we have.
Donc aujourd'hui, c'est le lancement d'une campagne pour inviter les gens à se faire entendre. Today, we launched a campaign so that more people have an opportunity to be heard. We live in a democracy. When enough people speak with one voice and ask for the same thing, we will be heard. It will be done. I just cannot tell you how long it will take. But the louder we speak, the more united we are, the more chances that Highway 69 will be 4-lane. The sooner, the better. 4-lane, zero excuse. Let's bring our voices together. What we're launching today is an opportunity for people to do this, to say that they want the 4-laning of Highway 69, that they want this to be a priority, that they want it done, share their reason why they want it done, but add their voice so that we put pressure on the government to do the right thing, and that's 4-laning Highway 69 now.
Thank you, Franz. Like I said earlier, we have campaign material. We'll continue to collect materials like the stickers, the car decals, the yard signs, the buttons. If people have other interesting ideas, we're going to explore that as well. Like Franz said, it is that one voice. Oh, sorry. I keep forgetting people are in line. Like Franz said, it is the importance of using that one voice. All of us are fed up with the excuses, even if they're legitimate. We do not care at this point. We want the 4 lanes to happen. Just get it done. We work in a mining town where people understand the importance of figuring out how to get it done, to overcoming the obstacles. We're tired of the excuses. And that's why the campaign is 4 lanes and 0 excuses. We're going to close now and move to questions. Christy is online. She's going to explain how the questions are going to be ordered. Christy, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you, merci. We will now be moving to the question and answer portion, and there is, I believe, a microphone in person. Please indicate for the microphone to ask your question. The question format will be one question, one follow-up. Once the in-person questions are done, I will be indicating for virtual questions to begin on our end. Also, please identify your outlet and let me know when the first question is ready to be asked.
Okay, Nicole has the microphone. Are there any questions in the room? Yeah, we could do. It looks like people want the one-on-one questions, Christy. Is there anyone online?
Sounds good. I believe there is someone online. Please use the raise hand function and I will be able to call out on the next reporter.
Thank you, everybody, and thank you again, Aaron, and your family for coming here. It was very meaningful. And just before we close, can I please thank the staff from my office, from France's office, and my office. All of this coming together was a lot of hard work behind the scenes. They don't get enough credit for it. So thank you guys for everything you do, coming here early, setting up, working on the website, all that stuff.
So sorry. I do believe there is one question online. You can go ahead and unmute yourself and ask a question.
Hi, it's Mary Catherine from the Sudbury Star. I'm just wondering if this project has been costed out, and do you know how much it would cost to complete the 4-laning of the 6 to 8 kilometers?
I don't know if we have a current costing on it. There was a costing that was done earlier. It would probably have to be adjusted for inflation. The way I see it, though, with the number of fatalities that we're having, if the Premier can get on board with a tunnel under the 401 that's estimated to cost over $1 billion, if he can get on board with the Bradford bypass, which apparently is going to save less than 5 minutes on a commute in southern Ontario, then we can find the money to 4-lane this road. As well, because I have the mining file, and because of the number of investments to mining in Sudbury and past Sudbury for mining, if the Premier is serious about his campaign to bring critical minerals to market, it would be in their best interest as well to have a highway that is not closed on a regular basis due to fatalities from the nickel capital of the world.
Have you guys, I mean, it's unorthodox, but have you approached mining companies to help foot some of the bill?
Sorry, Bronson, I keep looking into it. I apologize.
Have they been approached?
I don't know. I mean, the reality is that provincial highways are a responsibility of the province. The province in this case has been derelict in their duties of 4-laning this highway. They just have. In the same way that they haven't been funding hospitals effectively or schools effectively, the path forward, I don't think, is asking people to pay for it. We already pay through our taxes and our resources. This is a commitment that the province has made, the Premier made in every election on a regular basis in Northern Ontario. And there are people who have voted for that party because of this province. It's time for him to deliver on the promise that he made. We're advocating for him to follow through on his promise, and this campaign is to remind him that he made this promise and that we can't have more press conferences like this where mothers are speaking about family members who have died or friends talking about family members who have died, and have the Premier saunter around during an election talking about how dangerous the road is, but not lifting a finger to move forward.
Thank you.
The only thing I would add to this is that the mining industry provide for a fair chunks of tax revenue to the province. A very small percentage of those taxes would 4-lane Highway 69 many times over.
Thank you.
Are there any further questions?
That's everybody, Christy?
Sorry, no further questions. Thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup d'être ici aujourd'hui. Thank you for coming. And remember, 4-lane, 0 excuse, 4 voies, 0 excuse.